Hi, my name is Sara Ayler. I'm the Sales and Marketing Manager for Softflex Company. Today I'm going to show you how to add wire when you're doing a design like this, which is called a Russian Spiral Bangle Bracelet. I wove this bracelet using our Softflex 0.014 fine diameter beading wire. It is perfect for a design like this because it's very strong but very flexible. So it's actually going to give this body and shape to the bracelet that you're not going to be able to get with a thread. But what's also great about it is it's 21 strands of stainless steel coated in a nylon coating, in this case black. I think I used antique brass on this particular bracelet here. So it's going to be really strong as it rolls up and down your arm. There's actually no clasp on this bracelet. It is just a bangle that'll go right over your hand. So you do use quite a bit of wire as it's going in a circle doing this bead weaving. So at some point you almost always have to add some wire. Usually a bracelet like this is going to take anywhere between 20 to 25 feet of beading wire. So I just went ahead and started up a new bracelet, and I was going to show you how to add some beading wire to this design. So usually I start out when I'm doing one of these bracelets with like 5 feet of beading wire, which is basically my arm span. And then what I do when I need to add wire is I will actually string, and I'm going to go up here, which is where I left off. I'm going to string back through the hole where I left off. This has a little bit of a funny end on it, so let me clip that off. They're cutters. Okay, so I'm going to go back through the last few beads. I'll actually go through my last 2 of these little square beads. These are 3mm squares. And then back through one of my bugle beads, which I think these are actually 6mm bugle beads that I'm using here. Okay, so I'm going to back in, and I want to leave a pretty good length of wire because I'm actually going to use this wire to do the knotting. So make sure you leave enough wire because I'm going to knot a few times. I'm going to go around this wire, and you want to go all the way around and into your knot. And this is actually an 8 knot, which usually lays nice and straight. I'm going to use both wires to tug really tight on this. So I want to make sure it's nice and set tight. This is a stainless steel beading wire, so it's not like a thread where you just sort of tug on it with your fingertips. You want to really tug on it with your hands in this case. I'm going to take that wire and string it back through my next set of seed beads and bugle bead. And 2 times is usually enough for knotting. If you want to go 3, you definitely can. I know some people get really nervous about a knot coming undone. I certainly cannot blame you. So I'm going to do that same knot here. I'm going under the wire, and then you're going around the back end into the front, and you should see this 8 knot. See how there's sort of an 8, a bottom and a top loop? And I'm going to go ahead and take both wires again with my hands and really get in there and pull that tight. And I should be able to, at that point, clip this off. Looks like I need to get a little tighter, so let me get my pliers out. You want to make sure that knot is just really cinched down as tight as you can get it, so you don't have to worry about it coming undone later. So once I've done that, what I can do is I can go ahead and snip right at my knot, and I can also just snip off the end of this shorter wire that I'm no longer going to be using. And if you wanted to knot that off, you most certainly could. Just a simple knot even would be fine if you want to do it outside of this bead, just to ensure that it doesn't come loose and poke you later. But you don't have to go too crazy. And once you've done that, I just like to add a little dab of the specialty glue to each knot. And just making sure everything sort of lays appropriately. So I'm going to open up. The specialty glue is great for lots of different materials. I've used it with glass, metal, gemstones. I've used it on shoes, so rubber and leather. I've used it on wood, all sorts of surfaces, and Softflex company does sell this specialty glue. I don't particularly like the cap because it gets kind of goobered up, you know. It looks like this and you're supposed to cut it off. I usually just leave it and I open up the whole lid and then just use a little piece of wire. This glue goes a long way. You don't need a lot of it. And then I just put a little bit on all of my knots to make sure that I just have that extra strength and added security that they aren't going to come undone on me. One thing to remember is you may have to back through some of these beads. I don't, in this case, I shouldn't have an issue because it looks like we're all open on both ends. But be careful, you don't want to put a little glue where you need to back in. And then to keep going, all I do is start picking up my, let's close this up before I dump it over. Start picking up my beads again. So my bugle bead and my square bead, and then I can just keep on in my new pattern adding more beads, and I've added on a brand new slice of wire, so it's gonna work out really great. So that's it for adding wire to a Russian spiral design. If you enjoyed this video, please do click to subscribe to our YouTube page. We try to add a new video at least once a week. And you can also find our live videos on our Facebook page. You can find all of that on our website, www.softflexcompany.com, where we have links to all of our different social media sites, as well as some of the products that I used here today, like the cutters, the specialty glue, and the Softflex beading wire.